Words are really important. They're how we communicate, they're how we understand each other, and that's why you need to know particular words when you try to learn a new skill, like playing guitar. Maybe that's so obvious I didn't need to say it out loud, but I did. There's a whole load of beginner guitar tutorials out there, but not many of them will actually take the time to explain particular words, so that is why I'm here. Here is my beginner guitarist's dictionary. We're going to cover 10 words that you need to know when you start playing guitar. Let's start with electric. What do we mean when we say electric guitar? An electric guitar is one that is only really designed to make noise when it's plugged into an amplifier. And don't worry, amplifier is word number 10. And I know what you're going to say, but that's not really what an electric guitar should sound like. I mean, for starters, it's not loud enough. If you tried to play a gig with that, it wouldn't work. The sound needs to travel from the strings into the pickups and out into the amplifier. Oh, what's a pickup? I'm glad you asked. These rectangular things that live under the strings of the guitar, those are called pickups, and those will pick up the vibration of you hitting the strings. It's basically magnets. So I don't understand it, so don't worry about it. All you need to know really is that the pickups are the things that take you strumming your guitar and they turn them into the sound that comes out of the amplifier. You will usually have 2. If you've got a guitar like this, you might have 3 slightly smaller ones, or sometimes you've only got 1. You will have some number of pickups on your electric guitar somewhere. Number 3 is body. Body refers to this lump that the guitar is on, where your bridge is, where the knobs are, where all of the stuff is, the area you strum across and that you hold close to your torso when you play. That's the body of the guitar. Attached to the body is the neck. Maybe that's why it's called the body, because this is called the neck. This long bit where the frets are is the neck, where you put your hands to play different pitches. That's the neck. And maybe it's called the neck because this is called the headstock. I don't know, just a guess. Word number 5 is frets. Frets are these metal bars that run across the breadth of your guitar's neck. It's actually the frets that determine what pitch the string sounds. So you put your finger just behind the fret, and it's that fret that the string is resting upon that will then generate a specific pitch. When you hold down a string, we call it fretting. Doesn't mean worrying, it just means holding down a fret. Our next word is tuning. Tuning refers to the specific pitch that each string plays when you play the open string. So the tuning for this guitar right here is E, A, D, G, B, E. From lowest to highest, E, A, D, G, B, E. That is called standard tuning, and most guitars are tuned to standard tuning. If you want to change the tuning, or you've gone out of tune, you need to adjust, it's these pegs here. You've got one for each string that you just turn to change the tuning. Probably don't touch those if you don't want to change the tuning, because you will. Word number 7 is strumming. Strumming is what you do with your picking hand when you play a chord. You strum a chord, and if you're only playing one note at a time, we call that picking. A very nuanced difference, but it's basically strumming when it's a lot of strings, picking when it's 1 or 2. Yeah? Strumming and picking. Speaking of picking, the next word is pick. There you go. That's out of focus, isn't it? Good job, me. The pick is this plastic, kind of triangular looking thing. It's actually called a plectrum if you want to get really pedantic with it, but generally it's called a pick because that's what you do with it. You pick. It's not called a strummer. That would be silly. Pick. Word number 9 is jack. This is the end of a jack cable. It's the thing that connects your guitar to an amplifier. There's a lot of different things that use jack cables, but as far as you're concerned, you plug one end into your guitar, the other end into your amplifier, and that is how your guitar is heard. These cables are referred to as jack cables or jack to jack cables because you've got a jack on one end, a jack on the other end, so we tend to just shorten it to jack cable. And the bit you plug into is called the jack input. The jack input on your amplifier or the jack input on your guitar. Jack cable, jack input. Yeah? Word number 10 is amplifier. When we think of an electric guitar, a lot of the sound qualities that we imagine are actually coming from the amplifier. When you hear a big, crunchy, distorted guitar riff, usually all of that distortion is coming from the amplifier. And when you hear a nice, clean, funky guitar pattern, well, we wouldn't be able to record that in the studio if it wasn't amplified. So we need the amplifier one way or another to generate sound for us to listen to, obviously. An amplifier is called that because that's the name of what it does. When you amplify something, you increase the volume, you make it louder. So that's why we call it an amplifier. Oh, you can also shorten it to amp if you want to save time. Do you guys want to know a secret? You actually learned way more than 10 words today. It's quality. Good bang for your buck there, innit? Right, if you need to know more words like pitch or chord, you might want to look at the video on screen right now, which is my beginner music dictionary. You might also want to look at my beginner's acoustic guitar dictionary because there's slightly different words in there. Thanks for watching. You should probably subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.